Nepal is located on the continent of Asia and consists of the southern slopes of the Himalayan mountains. Nepal is landlocked between two superpower countries, India and China. Its territory extends roughly 500 miles from east to west and 150 miles from north to south. The most developed city in Nepal is the capital, which is called Kathmandu. Today, Nepal remains a poor country. The population is near 29 million, and the majority of the Nepalese depend on the financial income from farming and agriculture. The unique Hindu and Buddhist religions and the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest, give Nepal a destination to visit. Although Nepal emerged in history in the first millennium BC, it was only in the 18th century that Nepal developed as a country of the present size. Archaeological remains suggest that areas of Nepal have been inhabited for more than 10,000 years. One of the oldest forms of religion in the world is Hinduism. Its sacred writings date as far back as 1400 to 1500 BC. Today in Nepal, more than 81% of the current population believe in the multi-god religion of Hinduism. 9% believe in Buddhism, which is also worshipped in Nepal today. Nepal's recorded history began with the Kirati, who arrived in the 7th or 8th century from the east. Little is known about them other than being sheep farmers and carrying long knives. Minimal recordings were documented during this time. In 200 AD, a people called the Lichavi took power in Nepal after conquering northern India. It is said it was the Lichavi who brought Hinduism to the people of Nepal, which was once flourished with the Buddhist religion. Soon after, Nepal flourished and great temples of both Hindu and Buddhism were built. However, the Lichavi eventually declined and a new era began in 879 AD. From the 12th century, a series of kings whose surnames ended in Malla reigned in Nepal. The power of the Malla dynasty reached a peak in the 15th century under Yaksha Malla. However, after his death in 1482, his kingdom was divided between his three sons. The division created instability during this time. Nepal was eventually reunited in the 18th century by a man named Prithvi Narayan Shah. He was suspicious of the growing power of the British in India and decided to isolate his nation. The Gorkha War, also known as the Anglo-Nepalese War, was fought between the Kingdom of Nepal and the British East Indian Company. This war led to border disputes and ambitious expansionism of both the belligerent parties. Soon after, in the 19th century, the Nepalese were forced to come to terms with the British, where boundaries of Nepal were drawn. Meanwhile, in 1846, a man named Rang Bahadur seized power and declared himself Rana, or Prime Minister. Afterwards, the kings of Nepal were only figureheads and the Rana held the power. Finally, in 1923, Britain and Nepal signed a new treaty. The treaty was the first to define the international status of Nepal as an independent and sovereign country. The modern history of Nepal involves continuous power battles between the Prime Minister and the royal authority from 1950 to 1990. In recent years, the peace accord was signed, and it wasn't until April of 2008 elections were held and a coalition government became to power. In May 2008, the monarchy was abolished and Nepal became a republic. Nepal gained a new constitution in 2015. The unique culture and traditions of the Nepali people have many foundations and customs. There are many interactions and taboos and religious beliefs outsiders must consider before doing business. During my undergraduate years at Wayne State College, I had the opportunity to become friends with an individual from Nepal. There's no better resource than discussing culture and traditions from a person who grew up in this country.
Namaste. My name is Dipendra Kumar Pakral, and I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about Nepal. First of all, I'd like to thank Louis for providing me with this opportunity to share some things about Nepal to you guys. I'm also a Wayne State alum. Went to Wayne State for 3 years. The traditions are Hindu traditions that we follow. There are two major religious festivals that everybody in Nepal celebrates, no matter the caste, no matter the religion. It's kind of like celebrating Christmas. Everybody celebrates Christmas and Thanksgiving. So just like that, we have two of our own as well. The first one is Dasai, Dashain, and it's pretty much like celebrating Thanksgiving. So you would gather at your friends and family's place and share food and talk and play in cards and basically wishing each other success, prosperity, happiness, wealth, health, and what have you. And another big holiday is Deepavali. I'm sure some of you guys have heard about Deepavali, which is a festival of lights. There's a number of other festivals too. I would like to stick to those two for now because there's so many of them. There's about 32 gods, and we worship all of them. So it would be tough to explain every single one of them. Talking more about traditions. This hat that I'm wearing right now, you guys must be wondering what is this guy doing with that hat in his head. This is actually a traditional Nepali Dhaka hat. Dhaka, Dhaka hat.
As part of the verbal and non-verbal communication, it is customary to address the same gendered colleague with Namaste. This should be initiated for the first and last meeting of the day. To do this, one presses their hands together at the middle of the chest area. Furthermore, slightly bowing their head and nodding at the other person. Namaste is a sign of respect and is translated to mean, I salute the god or goddesses in you. In a man-to-woman scenario, it is important to wait for the woman to initiate a handshake after the Namaste greeting. In most cases, men should avoid handshakes with women. It is considered very rude in many specific villages in Nepal. In the event of a handshake, it is important to remember to use the right hand in doing so. It is considered disrespectful in using your left hand. Avoid giving or receiving anything with your left hand. Always use your right. This goes for drinking and also eating as well. The left hand is considered another source of pollution in many Asian countries because it is used for toilet purposes. During the initial meeting, direct eye contact is usually welcome when speaking with members of the same gender. However, indirect eye contact is generally appreciated between opposite genders. When communicating, it is common that Nepalese will be courteous and tell you what you want to hear. The individual usually answers a question without a direct no, even though it is the true answer. However, the non-verbal communication usually reveals their stance in situations. This is usually the case in the business world of Nepal. In the Nepali business world, it is important for the individuals to create a personal relationship before conducting actual business. Over various business meetings, questions of family, work, and life experiences are valuable ways to establish a bond. During these times, and in many cases, meetings are accompanied by delicious warm chai tea. The chai tea is unique and famous in the Nepali culture. Once you build a strong, trusting business relationship, in some cases, you may be invited to the home. The Nepali have a strong defined concept of friendship and hospitality for friends and or a guest. It is customary to take off your shoes before entering one's home, and importantly, in temples. The Nepali have a beliefs of superstition. It is important to never keep your shoes or sandals upside down. The superstition is that they will bring bad luck around the house. Sometimes shoes may be worn inside the home. However, it is important to follow the examples of the host. Furthermore, in business, supervisors may be addressed as sir or madam. G can be added to the end of the name to show respect. An example would be Louis G. This could be used for elders and professors or government officials. It is also rare for management to receive input from staff. Most decisions are made by the management. If you are a visitor and of non-Nepali heritage, it is appropriate for men to wear casual slacks and a business casual shirt. However, in the corporate business world, it is required to wear business suits and ties. Traditional wear is also worn by the Nepali men. These are called the kurta surwal. Nepali hat is also accompanied with this appropriate attire. For women of Western culture, it is appropriate to wear no direct revealing clothing. It is appropriate in the business atmosphere to wear formal attire such as slacks or long skirts. Short skirts and tank tops would be inappropriate. Most Nepali women wear their traditional wear, which are comfortable and can be bought locally. The country depends on its agriculture to support their way of life. Many often use growing of vegetables, fruits, and distinctive spices to create an income for their families. In modern years, the country has faced political instability, jeopardizing a stronger business society to compete with the rest of the world. Nepal's economy currently lacks the entrepreneurial drive needed for stronger economic growth and long-term development. Therefore, this leads to a potential open market of strategic business opportunities that will build the nation's economy. Currently, trade is vital to Nepal's economy. The 2017 Index of Economic Freedom, an online source evaluating international economies, states that the value of imports and exports taken together equal 53% of GDP. However, according to the Council on Foreign Relations, or CFR, Nepal's strategic location attracts significant attention from both local superpowers, which are China and India. According to CFR, a 1996 trade agreement between India and Nepal increased bilateral trade volume, which now accounts for more than half of Nepal's total trade. Sino-Nepali relations shifted both economically and politically until recently a new constitution was established, which making Nepal a federal republic. Chinese goods flooded Nepali markets as Nepal diversified its imports and lessened its dependence on India. Political parties are now working collectively, despite some differences, to improve the nation's economy, especially after the 2015 earthquake. As of today, agriculture, trade, and tourism supports the local economy in Nepal. Tourism in Nepal could soon lead to great potential and expansion on further local and international businesses. The potential markets and business opportunities are endless to support the future stability of the Nepalese. The country's history has proven that the Nepali people overcame many obstacles yet still remain a proud country today. A simple way of life founded on religion, where personal relationships, families, and friends are still cherished as the core of our human values. The ancient civilization and religious beliefs also make the country more valuable than money could ever buy. Although Nepal is considered a poor country in comparison to others, the business potential and the rich cultural heritage we can learn from the Nepali could truly make a difference in our world for generations to come.